Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Captain Frost and today I want to talk with you about Solo Self-Found League in Path of Exile, why this game mode in my opinion is pretty underused and why probably you should try it if you never tried it before. So Solo Self-Found means that you are not partying and you are not being able to trade with other people, which means that it's just a completely solo playthrough through the game without any interaction with any other people. And that's a very healthy mod for this game where the loot is main interest in the game, and by all the different ways that you're acquiring this loot, you are having fun. And I know that for many people, economy is a very interesting side of the game, but all that I want to say is that not only through economy you can play this game, not only through economy you are regularly playing ARPGs if they are not an only online based, and it's quite interesting to be participating in the leaderboards, to be honest, because solo self-found leagues, either HC1 or softcore 1, they're not as heavily populated as Trading League, and you can definitely compete there in at least some ascendancies for first level 100s, or maybe for first kills of the bosses, or for top 100 first kills of some particular bosses. So it's not as heavy occupied, there are just less people, and to be honest, it's just the leaderboard at least exists there, while in the especially in softcore Trade League, I truly don't really think that anybody cares about leaderboards, that anybody cares about being first in something, because it will always come down to who have better organized party. And if you're a solo player who just enjoys economy, you probably wouldn't really be able to have any meaningful competition between you and those organized parties. And to be honest, there are some interesting parts to the SSF that maybe will be quite enjoyable for you as well. Definitely a level of power of builds in solo self-found is way lower than in trade leagues, because you cannot really get everything that you want by the cheapest price that you can ever imagine. You can almost I can almost guarantee you that like 90 to 95% of the people who play solo self-found never got Mage Bloods, Headhunters, or even less powerful variants of Chase Uniques in the game. You can say that it is a bad, side of the mode, but to be honest, you don't really need those things in order to have fun at the game, and it's all because of how our brain works and how your challenge levels in your mind, they are all they are not absolute. They are always compared one to another, and if you're playing Trade League, you will always compare yourself to other people who play in Trade League as well, and other people who have Mage Bloods, who have Headhunters, who are zooming through the maps on just a gigantic speed. You're always comparing yourself to that person, or at least if you're playing long enough, you probably will do that, and you will also want to have such a zoomy build that will give you so much speed, so much damage that you're one-shotting everything. You need to power farm, you need to get all those divines in tens and hundreds of them. And when you're playing SSF, your goals are way lower because you understand that everyone's capabilities are way lower. So it's not like you're nerfing yourself, it's like everyone gets nerfed, and that's a baseline for everyone to compete in, which means that you are more okay with slower builds and you feel powerful with less things on your character. Because again, your comparable power level is way lower, and there is truly no absolute power levels. So there are some absolute power levels in the game through the Uber bosses, through Pinnacle bosses, different challenges, through Delirious maps and stuff like that. And that's the the thing that you are playing against in trade leagues, because you understand that competing against other players, other builds is not really I'm so sorry for that. So yeah, you understand that you competing against other people, other people's builds is not really a valuable and good thing to do, because you will probably lose. Probably, like most of the time, someone else in the league, especially if they're party playing, especially if they are some group that pushes delve very deep down below and stuff like that, they will have these builds that just massacre everything, and you will never have any chance to be even close to them. Or maybe if you are like very super try hard, you will be quite close to them, but you still probably wouldn't really use that as a benchmark of success of your build. You will use a benchmark of success in this situation as how fast can you clear map, how high delirious those maps can be, how good you're in simulacrum, how good you're against uber bosses and stuff like that. And that's a good goal. I don't have anything against it, but when you're playing solo self-found, you definitely have way more competition between players themselves, and you understand power of your build and power of your character, not only compared to the uber pinnacle challenges and some very juiced up speed farming. You do feel your build's power when it is compared to other people. Because you cannot cheese so much, you cannot get through the obstacles by buying gear in solo self-found, which means that you truly need to invest much more time and much more time into getting stuff done. And your build should be way more refined in terms of how versatile it can be in different lucky or unlucky situations where you do have some drops or you don't have any drops. And that's just another level of complexity, and that's another level of I guess competition between players of how well they can structure their playthrough, how well can you build your atlas, get some desired loot. So yeah, getting desired loot is not just speed farming the maps for the most efficient divine number, even though that's a quite interesting goal by itself. To be honest, at least in my own opinion, in trade leagues, it boils down to that way too fast, and that's a problem. At least for me, I can never really play the game that way. I've played the game for like 1 or 2 or 3 years in that way, but then after I've started playing solo self-found, I can never really go back to that. It just doesn't feel rewarding enough, it just doesn't feel meaningful enough and stuff like that. So if you are enjoying playing trade league in softcore, or maybe even trade league in hardcore, which probably there's a way less people who do that in hardcore. I definitely encourage you to try solo self-found, and not to build for yourself these goals from trade league. Go in there with completely flipped perception of what you want from the game and of what you want from your character. Just go in there and think about it a bit more like about a roguelike. So you're playing the game, your build should be, at least your first build should be quite versatile. You cannot really rely on any uniques or any stuff that is hard to get. You can't really rely on that, even though you can definitely strategize farming routes of getting that stuff, but your build should be at least playable at some like base level when you're going in the maps, and you shouldn't feel bad about your character, but just don't go in with anticipation of your blasting through everything and getting juiced up tier 16 maps. Go in there while trying to compete against other people and trying to think of how can you build. And yeah, this is probably wouldn't be really a popular advice as well, but try to do your own build. There is literally way less sense of going SSF if you are going to play with someone's build. Even though for like baseline character it can be the case, but it will just decrease your enjoyment out of the playthrough. At least how I do is that I really think about SSF playing through the leagues as a roguelike. So you're going in there, you don't really know what you will get, you don't really know what will happen to your character and what builds you will have otherwise available for you, and you don't really know which upgrades you will get for your current build as well. And that way I always build my first character as versatile, as universally good as possible, and I leave like some parts of the talent tree open. So I leave a possibility for maybe a good cluster jewel, for maybe good timeless jewel. I think of if, like, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about playing with swords, but I think about how can I quickly change my talent tree if I will have a good axe dropped, for example. Or maybe like, so yeah, just you're thinking about incorporating different mechanics if they will occur. And that's a cool thing to do, I guess, at least in my own opinion. SSF Hardcore, of course, that's just another level of that, but that one requires way more try-harding and refining your build. So going in with your own build that you've just theoretized, and you're just like it's not complete, it's not finished, you're just thinking about it as so the challenges will unfold and you will have more additional loot and stuff. You can't really do that in hardcore that much as you can do in softcore solo self-found. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. I hope maybe I will encourage some people to do something like that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good time, and goodbye.